So the public officially has access to E3 2017, all in today's Stuff That Sucks. So in 2016, E3 housed about 50,000 professional tradesmen and industry people at the show. 50,000. And I've heard a lot of people complain about how empty it was. Oh, they're selling tickets because it's empty. Trust me, I've been going there for years. It's not empty. In fact, it's very crowded. Every year it's crowded. To give you an example, the Breath of the Wild line, to play Breath of the Wild was capped at 6 hours and the line was capped all day. 6 hours for about a 20-minute gaming session. Same thing goes for other games that are big AAA titles, and the show floor is not open very long. So you're gonna have a chance, so the public's gonna have a chance to play like one game. But I digress, it's still insanely crowded. People are arguing the fact that the convention is doing this because they're down about 3.5% of attendance from last year. So the year before last, they had about 53,000 people attending, as opposed to last year, 2016, where they had 50,000 people attending. Now they're going to be selling 15,000 badges. They start at $150 if you do an early bird special, but they go up to $250. $250. Considering that there's not a lot of things to actually play unless you wait in a very long line to do so. There's not even that much swag there, to be honest. I mean, sometimes you'll get a t-shirt if you wait in a long line to play a game for 20 minutes, but that's really it. As far as merchandise goes, I believe Capcom had their store there, and there's of course the official E3 booth with all their products, but that was it in terms of actual physical merchandise. Like you're not there to buy games and buy game equipment, you know? People are there to get hands-on games and write about them. It's purely a professional event. Now, some people on our forums on Chatty, you know, complained like how us media and professionals don't want it open to the public because we're elitist. You know, well, I think it should stay media only and trade only. Adding more people to it is just gonna make it insanely busy. Besides, for those people who are saying like media is snobby and they just don't want public to go, you guys have plenty of other conventions to go to. I mean, CES is public, GDC is public, PAX, North, South, East, West, all public, BlizzCon, Comic-Con, WonderCon, like you guys have a ton of public ones you can go to. And I've been to both PAX West and E3, and I'm telling you, the difference is night and day. PAX West is insanely crowded. There's a lot more stores there. The lines are much longer than an E3, and E3 still had the 6-hour line for Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna use that as like the base point, just to give you an example. Now, 50,000 people now you take 50,000 people and you add 15,000 on top of that, which makes 65,000 people in a space that is already overly crowded. It's gonna make things a lot worse. Now, this convention isn't as bad as other conventions. A bad comparison, but a comparison unless it would be Comic-Con. There are about 130,000 people there, and it's a nightmare. I've gone every year, and it's a lot of people there. But it's also a lot bigger than the LA area and convention center. There's more hotels, there's a little more space, the hall is designed a little differently, so it's easier to get around. But I digress. 65,000 people are going to go to E3 this year because I'm sure they're going to sell out. It's been the first time in years they've let public go. But I think what really sucks about it is if you're like a small startup site or a blogger, like you really do write about video games. Like you're not just some guy who says he's a blogger to get in, which happens all the time at E3. But you actually want to write about the games to get hands-on. Now you have to wait in line with people who are just there to get a t-shirt. You know, like you are going to have to spend your entire day waiting in a line so you can write your article on a game that perhaps you couldn't get an appointment for with other people who just want to play the game for 20 minutes and that's basically all they want to do. In fact, it wasn't really that hard to ever get into E3 to begin with. Last year I saw like a group of 20 people walking in a giant flock and they all had Buffalo Wild Wing tags on and I was just like, what? Why is Buffalo Wild Wings at E3? It doesn't make any sense. But I mean, they're very gracious with their badges to begin with. Anyway, I'm a little upset about it because I think the public has a lot of events they can go to, and E3 is a trade professional event only. You know, I think only media and industry people should be allowed to go to the event. I think by opening up the doors and letting public people come in, it's going to make traffic worse, which it's LA, it's already terrible. Hotel prices worse. crowds worse, lines worse. It's just going to amplify everything in a negative way. Like I said, I think they're doing this because there was a 3.5 decrease in attendance last year, and they want to fill up the space to its maximum capacity and try to make money off it as well. Because the $250 price point, as someone who's gone to E3 for 6 years, I would tell you that if I didn't do this anymore, I wouldn't pay $250 to go. It's just not worth it unless you have pre-booked appointments to actually play the games and talk to the devs, because you're gonna be waiting in a line once a day, every day. You're gonna wander around for about an hour and a half, see everything you can like visually look at, and then you're just gonna be waiting in line the next 3 days for probably a game a day. Maybe a game or two a day. And that's if it's the AAA stuff. The indie stuff is pretty easy. You can walk by it and see it and stuff, but it's not like PAX West. Their indie stuff is a lot more diverse, and they have a lot more people there than they do at E3, because it's mainly a trade show. And this year, Activision isn't even going to be there. Like, they haven't said they're going to be at E3 yet, so people are still pulling out of it. Maybe this whole thing could just be a ploy to get Activision to come back to sell floor space for the convention hall, because they don't want to be there because it's just press and we're all doing appointments and behind closed doors anyway, all that good jazz. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good thing that they're opening up to the public? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think that they're doing it for the money? Do you think they actually care about people going to see it? What would you do if you were going to go to E3 and spend $250, not including hotel, airfare, and all that jazz, for 3 days to walk around the show floor? Let me know in the comments below. For more videos like this and everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com.